Hello YouTube, this is Austin Kirberson. This is my photography channel, as you may or may not know. Obviously, if you're subscribed to this channel, you know this is my photography channel. For those of you who don't know, I have a knife collecting, EDC, knife testing, gear testing channel called Hisatsu 5, and that's kind of my main channel where I do most of my content. But I also have a channel for photography, and I am learning as I go. I'm not the best, but I've come up with some pretty awesome pictures, and I have got gear acquisition syndrome pretty badly. It is, one of those things that photographers get. They want to try something new, and right now my favorite camera is the Pentax 6.7 or 6x7. And I decided I wanted to get into large format photography. I tend to kind of run around like a chicken with his head cut off when I'm taking pictures, especially in the cosmopolitan type area like street photography. And, there's not as much discipline. I'm kind of just, whatever catches my eye, I'm snapping a picture of it. And sometimes it works out really well, and sometimes it doesn't work out so well. So I'm interested in big negatives. I got me a 6x6 Veronica. I got a 6x7 Pentax. And I'm not going any bigger than this, I hope, but this is 4x5. This is a Graflok's, this is a speed graphic. And just to kind of show you this is really difficult to do behind the camera. But this is a speed graphic, and this is my starter large format camera, and it's a older model. I want to say it's an anniversary series, but I need to do a little bit more research. But it is the older model with the spring back. That's the ground glass. Obviously, it has some sighting things. You have this little aperture right here. You got a range finder. This is a press camera with large format photography. You got three categories. Some people consider it like two categories with some subcategories within that. So you basically have monorail cameras, and those are more studio type larger format cameras. Then you have field cameras, and as the name implies, you take those out in the field. They're more portable, they fold up. And some people consider the speed graphic to be a type of field camera. But there's another category, I guess you can call it a subcategory of field camera, and that is the press camera. And these cameras were very famous for being used during the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And they were last made in like 73, I think. They had a long run. And the speed graphic started out in 1911, but it was still catching ground. And in World War II, these were issued to the military. I forget, it's like Marine Signal Corps or something like that. This is the camera they used to take the picture of them raising the flag on Iwo Jima. So there was a lot of famous photos that were taken with the speed graphic, and then later they started making the crown graphic and stuff like that. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but basically this has the spring back, and I want to put the Graflok back on it. And I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try to basically swap them out. And since this is a knife channel, and I don't feel like going outside to the shop to get a screwdriver, I thought I'd try getting these screws out with my Swiss Army knife. It seems appropriate. But I do not want to strip these, so I might have to turn off the camera. Okay. And on the spring back, they have 2 holes. This has 4 holes, so I have to see if any holes will be uncovered when I unscrew this. This is really difficult to do behind a camera and a tripod. By the way, if I wish to pursue large format photography, I'm going to have to get a much better tripod than the one that I have. There's the inside. And let's look at this. This might be a waste of money. It does not appear that I can replace this. At least not without some invasive modification. Oh, that's a shame. This was not necessarily cheap. I don't see a place where I can screw it in. It doesn't seem to fit. But that's kind of the point of this video, is to see if you can actually do it. Let's see. You might ask yourself, why do you want to change it out? Well, I really want to use Intech's instant photography film, and this is kind of what you need for the lomography film adapter. Yeah, that's a lot bulkier. Wait a minute. No, I don't think that'll work. You got a screw right here that corresponds with this hole, but it doesn't fit. Well, that sucks. So you got the two holes right there, and we have no corresponding holes here, and it doesn't seem to actually want to mount on. So that was a waste of money. Now hopefully I can reassemble this without messing anything up and having to get it replaced or repaired. And some of you might think, well, you know, if you're very handy, you could probably tap some threaded holes in there, but as you can see, it did not even want to mate to the camera. I'm sure those people more skilled than me. This is my second attempt to take apart a camera, and my second time at failing. I had a Canon AE1, I believe what it was, and the shutter was stuck. No, actually, this is my third attempt. The second attempt was somewhat successful in the fact that I was able to, you know, open it up and use my screwdriver to actuate the switches and stuff, and I was able to put it back together, but the camera was not fixed. My first attempt was a Canon AE1, and I was able to take the plate off, the top plate off, but after I looked inside there, I was like, whoa, that's like a Swiss watch. I'm not going to touch that. And then this was my second attempt. So it looks like I won't be able to use instant film in this. There's probably a way to rig it where you could use instant film, but I don't know what it is. So I have this to sell to recoup the money on, and I got another medium format, not medium, but large, another speed graphic that was actually the wrong size. It wasn't 4x5, it was smaller. So that's it. I hope you, I can't say you enjoyed the video, wasn't that entertaining, but I hope you learned something. So that's it. I'm Austin Culbertson, and I'm out.